Hello, good morning. I know you are doing fine. You're very welcome to our class for today. And for this morning, we are going to be looking at a topic very important, and it has to do with what I would refer to as arithmetic mean. The truth is that arithmetic mean is also called average. For you who have known arithmetic mean for some time, you need to understand that it means average. So it is the same thing as average. So today, quickly, we are going to look at some questions. Some are simple, some are not, but it all depends on your understanding of the topic. We all know that arithmetic mean has a formula, and it is adding the total number of values given, or a set of numbers given, adding them together or getting their sum or their total, then dividing it with how many they appear. And so what we are looking at is total over number. So this is the formula we are going to be using for the rest of the class. So for a start, we want to look at a question here. According to what you have in your book, we are going to solve questions 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Then we are going to generate other questions so that you could have your time to practice them by yourself. So let's give it a start, and I hope you are ready. The first one we have is number 1 that says, find the arithmetic mean of 63, 71, 62, 70, and 69. So according to our formula, we are going to first of all add them together, and that would be done this way. So just place your addition signs in between. Then how many are they? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what you got. So let's add. For me, I prefer adding with the place values. It makes it easier for you so that you don't have to start going to get a paper or sheet and start filling it up. That's too elementary, and I think at the stage you are supposed to have crossed that level. So let's add with the units. So 9 plus 0 is 9, plus 2 11, 11 plus 1 is 12, 12 plus 3 of course is 15. So as usual, we're going to put 5. Now 15, it has 1 in the tens, so that 1 crosses over to the tens here. So 6 plus that 1, 7 plus 7, 14, 14 plus 6 is 20, 20 plus 7, 27, 27 plus 6, how many there? If you say 33, then you are correct. So we're going to have 335 over 5. So you see, we have now arrived at one single whole number, 335. So let's divide with our short division. It is called short because it does not take you so much to do. So 5 divides itself is 1. 5 cannot go into 3 because it's small, so you go over to 33. 5 into 33 is 6. Remember 3. So 5 into 35, you have 7. So our answer is 67. Beautiful. So we're having 67 as the arithmetic mean of all these numbers. I hope that is clear. Thank you very much. Alright, so for number 2, we are having figures like 18, 21, 19, 24, 20, and I think another 24. So it doesn't matter if the numbers duplicate. So as usual, we're going to place them as if we are adding all of them. And how many are they? If you can count, you're having 18, 21, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So adding with our units, we have 4 plus 0, 4, plus 8, plus 4, 8, 8 plus 9, 17, 17 plus 1, 18, 18 plus 8, you have 26. So we are going to place 6 here. That's 2 that goes for 10. We put it here. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 5, 5 plus 1 6, 6 plus 2 8, 8 plus 2 10, and 10 plus 2 we have 12. So we have 126 over 6. So you see what we got. So we have eventually gotten a single whole number, 126. And if you look at this number a lot, you discover that 12 is a multiple of 6, and 6 is also a multiple of 6. So it becomes very easy to divide. So 6 into itself is 1, 6 into 12 is 2, 6 into 6 is 1. So you have 21 as your final answer. Very easy, not so? Very good. So that is the way it's done, and we are going to head over to number 3. So number 3 here, which is going to be captioned as number 4, has these figures. If you notice, they are all in decimals. So you have 3.7, another 3.7, 3.4, and another 3.7. So we're looking for the arithmetic mean. So it really doesn't matter. You still need to do the same thing while still adding the decimal places. So let's check how many there are. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have 5 values there. So let's see how many we have. So we have 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18. 18 plus 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. So we're talking about 25. 25 plus 5 is 30. So how many do we have going to the unit side? So we have 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. So we're having 18. But remember to add your point here, and you have 5. So in dividing with decimals, you are aware that you really don't bother about the decimal places. All you need to do is to add it where it's supposed to be. But divide as if you are dividing as a whole number. So 5 into itself is 1. 5 into 18 is 3. Remember what? Remember 3. So you have 3 here, and you have 3.6. You see, you notice I added the 6 where I should add it, plus the decimal place. So it's as easy as that. So your answer here is 3.6. Very easy, not so? Good. So let's go over to the next question. So notice that this one is a little different. This one has to do with time. So you talk about years and months, but notice that it says 12 years 5 months, plus 14 years 10 months, plus 11 years 1 month, plus 14 years 4 months, plus 14 years 10 months. Now if you look at this, it's not one whole number, but to make it easier to solve, we need to get them as the year and the month. If you compare years to months, you understand that 12 months make 1 year. So that's a standard. That's a standard for time, that 12 months make 1 year. So if you add all these months together, you need to add them to find out the month first before you go over to year. So what they are trying to do is that they are trying to help you to know that you could actually add these things together. You could make them as one, depending on the number of months or number of years that are available. But also to know that you can have months inside year, right? So let's see how we can do that. So we can do that by what I call the manual process, or the step 2 could be turning them into decimal places. But so let's start with the first style, which is the manual process. So as the name implies, we are going to first of all add the months first. So add the smaller value or the smaller unit, which is months. Months are smaller compared to year, so add the months first all together. So let's see how many months we have. So we have 5 months. So 5 plus 10 is 15, right? 15 plus 1 is 16. 16 plus 4, 20. 20 plus 10 is 30 months. 30 months. So we have 30 months here. All right, so now let's add the years together. So let's go 2, let's add the units. 2 plus 4, 6, right? 6 plus 1, 7. 7 plus 4, 11. And 11 plus 4, we'll have 15. So we're having 5 here to carry over the 1. So we'll have 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. Then 4 plus 1, 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So we'll have 65 years. 65 years. Then 30 months. 65 years, 30 months. Let's be very sure about the months now. So we'll have 5 plus 10 is 15. 15 plus 1, 16. 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 plus 10 is 30. So we have 65 years, 30 months. 65 years, 30 months. So what do we need to do? Now notice that since 12 months will give you, since 12 months is going to give you 1 year. So notice that we'll have some years we could move over to so that we can reduce this. Reduce this number of months. So how many years can we get in 30 months? Now let's analyze it. 12 months is 1 year. So what that means is 24 months is 2 years, right? So how many months do we have left if we remove 24 months here? Obviously it's 6 months, right? So that 24 months will give you 2 years. So these 2 years, we'll add it over to here. So we're going to have 67 years. That the remaining months to get up to 30 is 6 months. Are you saying that? Very good. So 67 years, 6 months. 67 years, 6 months. Very good. So that's what we have. 67 years, 6 months. So we need to find the average value of all of them. The average value of all of them. But hey, don't be too fast to continue. Since we are talking about average, notice that average talks about the number of units or the number of values. So how many values do we have here? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 values, not so good. So since we have 5 values, it is safe to find the average using this one instead of this one. Remember, we moved some months into this one, so it is safe to find the average using the first one. So and that is going to give us, so instead of putting it in years and months as units, just put 30 and put your 5, right? So let's divide. 5 here, 1, 5 here is 1, carry 1 here. 5 into 15 is 3. Put your point. 5 into 3 cannot go, but since 3 is in between numbers, so here is 0, and 5 now into 30 is going to give you 6. So what do we now have? So we have 13.06, which can be converted to 13 years. Of course, what you have here, you have 13 years, 6 months. So that's the average that we have. All right, I hope you got all that. Thank you. All right, so compared to the previous one, we're having something different here. So we have hour and minutes. So, well, of course, we know that 60 minutes make 1 hour. It's always safe to go with the small one. 60 minutes make 1 hour, right? That is the standard linking the 2 units. Okay, so because of that, let's add as usual. I would prefer that you pause the video to do it yourself, so that by the time you finish doing it yourself, you would see whether you have the same answer with me. So let's proceed. So we have, let's add the smaller one first of all. So we're going to add the minutes part first. So we're having 30 here. 30 plus 6 is 36, right? Then 36 plus 20, of course, is 56. 56 plus 10 is 66. So we have 66 minutes. That's what we have gotten. So we have 1. Let's add the hour part. 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 2 is 6. So we have 6 hours and that. Very good. So we need to find the average, and just like the other one, we have 6.66 over how many values do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Don't forget that. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's divide, right? So 5 here, 1. Now take a note that this will not give us one single value because the last number here is 6. It's not 0 or 5. Remember, the determinant for having any number able to be divided by 5 is that the last digit, whether a decimal or a whole number, is that the last digit there must be 0 or what? 5. Good. So let's divide. So 5 here, 1. 5 into 6 is also 1. Remember 1 here. 5 into 16. Remember to place your point. 5 into 16 is 3. Carry 1. Right? 5 into 16 is also 3. And carry 1. So I'm putting my tiny 1 over there. So I add 0. And what do I have? 5 into 10 is 2. So I'm having 1.332. Right? 1.332. So if we convert it to what we have 1 hour. We approximate this, right? So let me put my approximation sign. So we approximate this. 1 hour, 3 minutes. Approximating the minute side. I hope that's clear. I hope you're having a good time. Very good. So let's go on. Okay, so if you look at the board, you have that question. This time around, we're having 2 units, meter and centimeter. So let's count the numbers we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're very fortunate that we're having only 5 numbers. We don't even have to add so much. Okay, so let's find the total for the centimeter side. So it has 2 digits there, so we could as well just add 0 there. Put your centimeter by the side because we check 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. So let's add the other part. So 7 plus 7. So I'm going to safely clean this because I initially had written centimeter before. Okay, so 7 plus 5, 12. 12 plus 2, 14. 14 plus 4, 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. 18 plus 3 is 21. Yeah, so we have 210 centimeters. So you're having, let's add the meter part. So 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 11. So we're having 11 meters. And we're dividing by how many? If you remember, let's count again to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're dividing that by 5, right? So we are going to put it in this manner, over 5. So 5 here is 1. 5 into 11 is 2. Carry 1. 5 into 12 is still 2, right? Carry 2, right? So 5 into 21 is 4. Carry 1. 5 into 10 is 5, right? So we're having 2 meters, 245 centimeters. 2 meters, 245 centimeters. But when you get to this point, you could easily convert this to meters because we're having, remember, 100 centimeter makes 1 meter. So if 100 centimeter makes 1 meter, 100, we have 200 here. So we have 2 meters that can come out of here. So we have that 2, add it over to this. We have 4 meters, 45 centimeters. So that becomes your, so because remember this is 200, right? So since 100 centimeter makes 1 meter, you have 200, which is 2 meters. So that's 2 meters. We're adding it to this, which makes it what? 4. I hope you are following. Thank you. So let's move along. So if you check this one, it's a little different because you have a mixture of decimal and what? Whole number. But that's not trickish enough because we can easily add our 1.0 there. We can make it 0.0 because the best way to make a whole number decimal is by adding 0.0. It is also possible that you could have 1. You can easily make any whole number a fraction by adding over 1 to it. Okay, so let's go on. What we have is 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1, which we added at 0.0, which became 1.0. Let's count the number of values we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We are very fortunate. We're having only 5 numbers. So as usual, we are going to add all of them and over 5. So let's do well to add. Alright, so let's add the decimal part. We have 8 plus 6 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. So you're having 0, then the 2, you carry it over. So notice that all in front you have 0, 0, 0, 0, and 1 there. So you have 3.0 over 5. 5 here is 1. 5 into 3 cannot go. Put a 0, put your point, and that 3 stays here. You have 6. So which becomes 0.6. So 0.6 becomes the arithmetic mean of all the numbers. Yes. So our board is filled up. Not so? Very good. And I know you can see everything clearly. Very good. Now let's take a look at what we have. So I'm going to read them out in case you don't say it properly. Number 1, these are more questions that I've generated. So it's up to you to get to solve it and either send it through WhatsApp or send it to me anyhow you can so that I get to see what you have done. So there are questions that can help you to think deeply about arithmetic mean. Alright, so let's go. The first question says the heights of 5 runners are 160 centimeters, 137 centimeters, 149 centimeters, 153 centimeters, and 161 centimeters respectively. So that word respectively is always used in mathematics to tell you that they follow in a pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they keep rising like that in form of 1, 2, 3, not 1, 3, 7, no. So just 1, 2, 3. So they are rising in a pattern. So that's what respectively means. So it says find the mean height per runner. Okay, so it's not difficult. So number 2 says find the mean of the first 5 prime numbers. So it tests your knowledge on prime numbers to see if you can still remember, but I'm very sure that you can remember. Number 3 says find the mean of the first 6 multiples of 4. The first 6 multiples of 4 that you should find the arithmetic mean. Very easy, not to. Number 4, find the mean of the first 7 natural numbers. So I'm giving you that homework. Find out what natural numbers mean and find their arithmetic mean. So these ones are very easy, not so. So it's up to you to get to think about and solve them. Remember, I need them sent to me on WhatsApp, right? Okay, now these are quite easy, right? So I'm going to give you ones that are really not really difficult, but they demand further knowledge in what you know about basic operations in mathematics and algebra. So let's look at that. Okay, so what we have on the board is one that has to do with your knowledge, to test your knowledge about word problems and algebra. So number 5, let's look at that. Number 5, it says if the mean of 9, 8, 10, x, 12 is 15, find the value of x. Now, the reason why this one is a little different is because if you notice, x, not so, very good. So what do you have to do here? Already, do we have a total? Yes, we have a total, 15. So they've already given you a total and asked you to find this one. So what do you know about algebra? Test your knowledge and let's have the result. Number 6. Number 6 says the mean of the height of 6 boys is 152. So they've given you a total. If the individual height of 5 of them, so they gave you 5, 151 cm, 153 cm, 149 cm, and 154 cm. Find the height of the 6th boy. So already you have the height of 5. So they were very generous. They gave you 5 and asked you to find the 6th one. And they did not also leave you confused. They gave you the total. So that way you can find the 6th number. So we have come to the point where you need to start working. But don't see it as difficult in any way. It is not. Arithmetic mean is very, very simple. In fact, the importance of arithmetic mean in personal life cannot be overflogged or overemphasized or so much said about it. No, it's very important because of course when you have lots of people, especially in data management, where you have probably in a community, government can use the knowledge of arithmetic mean in helping their citizens. So you have in a particular community and they want to give free education to every child in that community. So government could say, for us to help this number of children, of course we need to have how much money to invest in helping these children. Aside from how much money, we also need to know how many children in that community. So what would they do? Of course they will conduct what is called census. By the time they send out their staff to enter into that particular community, you are supposed to have a particular geographical location, which is that same community. So when you get to that community, you go house to house to find out how many kids are there in each house. So when you look at how many kids that there are in each household, maybe you get to the first house, you have 4 kids. You get to the second house, you have 5 kids. You get to the third house, you have 6 kids. You get to the fourth house, you have 10 kids. You see, so you have a list of children in that community. So instead of you to start counting them one after the other, after counting maybe the total number of kids in that community, what do you now do? You talk about average per house. Average per house. So by the time you get the number of kids in each of those households, you find their average. It could be 4, it could be 6. So that will now help you to know how much money you are supposed to expend into taking care of the school fees of such children. With average, you could also find out some minor details. For instance, among those children, of course, you could have those who are boys, you could have those who are girls. You would also ask, after finding out, you could keep the information on paper and find the average. So the average is going to help you to find out how many boys there are in the community or how many girls there are in the community, so that you know how to target whatever efforts you are bringing into the community very well, so that everyone gets to benefit from the package you are bringing in. So that is it. It can also happen in the house. Somebody comes to a particular household and says, I want to buy items for my children. So how do I do it? Of course, you could have kids of different age brackets. So average could also help you to know who and who to help, so that you don't get to make them feel that they are being cheated. It also helps in equalizing, so that everybody gets to enjoy the same thing without feeling that they are being neglected. So that's our discussion on average. We hope that more will come around. So get to watch the video and make sure you put down your solutions and send to me. And efforts are being made to ensure that none of us, even amidst the coronavirus pandemic, none of us disregard your academic excellence. None of us disregard your emotional upbuilding. None of us disregard your mental development. So it doesn't always have to be sit at home, eat, watch movies and that. There are other things that you can do. You could exercise, and you have to also make it recurring. Let it be deliberate. It's not something that you just sit down and watch the four walls of your house, go in, go out. Of course, we are obeying the authorities, but make sure that even as much as we are doing that, you are taking other precautions. Wash your hands, clean up. In fact, there are videos about how to wash your hands properly, so that you don't, in the process of washing your hands, still contaminate yourself. But ultimately, the best way to prevent it is stay at home. Of course, it's not going to be easy at this time, because most of us will have to go out before we eat. But considering the level of the disease that we're talking about, it's not something that we need to take for granted. We must be careful. We must be careful. If you have to go out, you must take the necessary precautions, so that you don't endanger yourself and as well endanger others. Remember, we are surrounded by our families. So social distancing is another thing that we must learn to do. Keep your distance from people. Avoid handshakes that could cause trouble. If you have anybody that is looking sickly, stay 1 meter ahead or even farther away from the person. But if you must help the person, make sure or ensure that you wear your hand gloves and you also wear your face mask. But you could also gather information about how to use the face mask and your hand gloves, so that you stay safe. It's very important. So cheers. I appreciate your attention, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.